Welcome to our podcast. English positive affirmations before sleep.
It's not too late to begin again. We talk so much about fresh starts, but we forget that they don't need perfect timing. They don't need a Monday, a new year, or a milestone. A beginning can happen in the middle of an ordinary moment, after a bad decision, after years of numbness, after just one quiet realization. I want something different. You don't have to keep living a story that doesn't feel like yours anymore. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't need permission, or approval, or applause. You just need a little courage and the willingness to choose something better for yourself, even if you don't know what it looks like yet. So tonight, let it be the beginning of something softer, something truer, something that feels like coming home to a version of you that's been waiting. Patiently, silently, hopefully. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You're just beginning. And beginning is powerful. Peace is not found in the absence of noise. It's found in the space you make within it. The world doesn't slow down for you. It doesn't go quiet just because you're overwhelmed. The notifications keep coming. The calendar stays full. The voices around you don't pause. And in the middle of that chaos, you might think peace is something you'll find when you finally escape, when things settle, when life gives you a break. But real peace isn't about everything outside you going still. It's about what you build inside. Peace is a decision, a moment of breath before you react, a gentle voice in your mind that says, "You're okay right now." Even if nothing looks okay, it's the way you choose not to spiral. Even though you could, it's the way you speak to yourself when no one else hears it. So tonight, don't wait for silence. Create it within yourself. In the space between one thought and the next, in the pause between inhale and exhale, in the knowing that peace doesn't have to be earned. It can be chosen, even here, even now, even in the middle of it all. You don't have to be everything to be enough. There is so much pressure to be more, to do more, to achieve faster, to impress louder. We wear exhaustion like it's accomplishment. We say yes when we want to say no. We stretch ourselves thin, trying to meet every need, trying to be every role, trying to carry the entire sky. But who told you that your worth depends on how much you give, how much you do, how much you never let fall apart? What if enough isn't found in more? What if enough is found in the quiet way you care, in the gentle presence you bring, in the way you listen, even when your heart is tired? You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are not your productivity. You are not your performance. You are not the sum of what others think you are. So tonight, let enough be enough. Let rest be sacred. Let imperfection be okay. Let yourself just be. You are already enough, not because you've earned it, but because you exist. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress. So many nights we lie in bed, not knowing where we stand in our own story, feeling like we're not enough yet. Not complete, not fixed, not successful, not healed. But what if you could be both? Both someone beautiful and someone still learning? Both someone who shines and someone still searching for light? You are not a contradiction. You are a combination of soft and strong, of known and unknown, of chaos and clarity. It's okay to not have reached the end of your journey. You are not a failure for still becoming. You are a living piece of art. And every brushstroke, even the messy ones, even the ones you regret, is part of the whole painting. You don't need to rush to the after. There is beauty in the becoming. There is worth in the process. Even if it's slow, even if you take a few steps back, even if healing looks like crying yourself to sleep some nights, you don't have to pick. You can be in love with who you are and still want to be better. You can be proud of how far you've come and still wish you were further. Tonight, let yourself hold both truths. Let your breath hold the past and the future, but rest in the present. Right now, you are worthy. Right now, you are art in motion, and that's enough. Rest is not idleness. It is repair. We live in a world that rewards exhaustion, that glorifies the grind. That tells you rest is for the weak. But that's not true. Rest is not giving up. Rest is not laziness. Rest is choosing yourself. It's giving your body a chance to breathe, your mind a chance to stop running, your soul a chance to speak. You are not broken for needing rest. You're just human. And even machines need to power down. Think of how much you've held today, how much your heart carried. Maybe in silence, maybe with no one watching, but still, you carried it. And now, you are allowed to put it down. Your value is not tied to how much you accomplish. It's not found in crossed-off checklists. It's found in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the quiet, when you say, "This is enough for today." Rest is repair. Rest is remembering who you are underneath the noise. It's choosing softness in a world that constantly demands hardness. It's choosing peace, even if everything around you still spins. So tonight, don't apologize for needing rest. Don't feel guilty for lying down. You are not quitting. You are healing, and healing is always enough. You don't have to believe everything your tired mind tells you at night. Night can be cruel sometimes, not because the world turns darker, but because the mind gets louder. When the lights go out and the noise outside fades, you're left with the voices inside, the what-ifs, the I should have, the I'm not enough. But here's the thing. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every late-night worry is truth. Not every fear that whispers in the dark knows who you truly are. Your tired mind is not the best narrator of your life. It speaks through the lens of exhaustion. It twists facts into fears, memories into shame, possibilities into dread. But that's not reality. That's just the weight of a brain that's carried too much for too long. You are more than your 2 a.m. doubts. You are not the sum of your anxieties. You are not defined by that one awkward thing you said 3 years ago. You are not your worst moment, not your worst decision, not the version of yourself that fear keeps painting. Tonight, choose not to engage with every thought. Let them pass. Like clouds in a night sky. You don't have to catch them. You don't have to fix them. You can simply let them float on by. Remind yourself gently, I am not my thoughts. I am the one who watches them. Let your breath be the proof. That peace is still possible. Even when the mind is busy, let your pillow carry the heaviness. Let sleep be your soft refusal. To let fear decide who you are safe. You are loved. You are more than any story your tired mind tries to tell tonight. Even your smallest step forward still counts. There will be days when progress looks like triumph. When you feel brave and beautiful and capable. When you speak with clarity, walk with confidence, and everything makes sense. And there will be days when getting out of bed feels like a mountain, when brushing your hair is an act of courage, when saying I'm okay takes everything in you. But those days, those small, quiet, invisible victories, are just as important. Healing isn't linear. It's not a straight path. It's not about constant growth or daily wins. Sometimes it's about choosing not to give up, even when you don't know what comes next. Sometimes it's about whispering, I'll try again tomorrow. Even through tears, the step may be small, but it still counts. Because you took it. Because you showed up for yourself. Even in the smallest way, don't minimize your efforts. Don't belittle your pace. The world may not see what you've done today, but you know, and that matters. So tonight, acknowledge your own strength. Not just in what you've accomplished, but in what you've endured. Every gentle attempt to move forward, every breath taken in pain, every moment you stayed when you wanted to run, that's strength, and it all counts. It's okay if all you did today was breathe. There's this quiet pressure that whispers to us from to-do lists and expectations and social feeds full of accomplishments. It tells us that we need to be constantly building, creating, achieving, to be worthy of peace. But some days, the most sacred thing you can do is simply keep breathing. There will be days when your body feels heavy, when your thoughts feel loud, when motivation disappears, and clarity hides. And those days are still valid, still real, still part of your life. You don't need to pretend you're okay when you're not. You don't need to power through pain just to prove something. You don't need to wear a smile if your soul is aching. If all you did today was survive, if all you did was breathe, if all you managed was to be here, still holding on, then you've already done enough. Your existence is not a performance. You don't need to impress anyone to matter. So tonight, let go of the need to measure your day in productivity. Let yourself be proud, simply for being here, for breathing through the hard parts, for staying soft in a hard world. That's not nothing. That's everything. You don't have to be fixed to be loved. Sometimes we get caught in the illusion that we have to be whole, perfect, untouched by the world's harshness, to be worthy of love. But that's not true. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to have a flawless past. You don't have to have all the answers. To be loved, you are not a project to be perfected. You are not an object to be fixed. You are a human being, a beautiful, messy, complex soul. And love doesn't need perfection to exist, even in your brokenness, even in your uncertainty, even in the parts of yourself you'd rather hide. You are deserving of love. You don't need to heal completely first. You don't need to wait until you feel good enough. You don't need to have everything figured out to let yourself be loved and cared for. The love that you deserve doesn't come with conditions. It doesn't wait for you to change. It simply exists, right where you are, flaws and all. So tonight, embrace that part of you. That feels unworthy. That feels imperfect. And remind it, you don't need to be fixed. You are already enough as you are, and you are worthy of love just as you are. Progress is progress, no matter how slow. We live in a world that's always rushing, always moving fast, always pushing for more speed, more efficiency, more results. And it's easy to get caught up in the idea that if you're not moving at a certain pace, if you're not sprinting ahead, then you're falling behind. But that's not the truth. Progress isn't a race. It's a journey. Sometimes progress looks like waking up and getting out of bed when all you want to do is hide. Sometimes it looks like saying one kind word to yourself. When you've been so hard on yourself for so long, sometimes it looks like taking one small step forward. When you feel like you're barely moving, and that's okay. That's still progress. Even if it doesn't look fast, even if it feels like baby steps, every small action, every small choice, every small victory is still moving you forward. It's still growth. So tonight, give yourself permission to honor where you are and how far you've come. Even if it feels like the smallest of steps, they matter. They count. And they are progress. You're not falling behind. You're right on time. Every step you take is part of your journey, and it all adds up. You are allowed to outgrow people, places, and patterns. Growth is rarely loud. It's quiet, subtle, a shift in your chest, a gentle awareness that something no longer feels like home. There are places you've stayed in for too long, not because they nurtured you, but because they were familiar, because leaving felt like betrayal, because change felt like failure. But you're not meant to stay small, to shrink for someone else's comfort, to dim yourself just to fit in. You are allowed to grow, to evolve, to move on. You are allowed to outgrow conversations that no longer inspire you, people who only see a version of you you've outlived, dreams that no longer align with your spirit, and ways of thinking that once protected you but now hold you back. Growth is not abandonment. It's not arrogance. It's not disloyalty. Growth is honoring your truth. It's listening when your heart whispers, I need more. It's letting go without resentment and moving forward without guilt. So tonight, release the need to explain yourself, to make everyone understand. Some things are meant to be loved from a distance, and that's okay. You are not obligated to stay the same. You are allowed to bloom, even if it means growing in a new direction. Even if it means growing alone. You are not behind. You are on your own timeline. Comparison is a thief of joy, of presence, of self-compassion. You scroll and you see them. Friends, strangers, people living lives that seem louder, brighter, faster, graduating, getting promoted, falling in love, starting families, building empires. And it's so easy to wonder, what's wrong with me? Why am I not there yet? But you're not late. You're not behind. You're simply on a different path, a different timeline, one that cannot be rushed or compared. Your life is not meant to match someone else's pace. It's meant to unfold in its own time, with its own rhythm, with its own beauty. There's no universal deadline, no rule book that says you must have it all figured out by 25, or 30, or even 40. You are not a failure because your story looks different. You are a human, learning, navigating, becoming, and that takes time. So tonight, let yourself breathe a little easier. You're not racing anyone. You're not missing out. You're exactly where you're meant to be, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. Let go of the clock. Let go of the pressure. You're not behind. You're becoming, and becoming takes time. Healing doesn't mean the damage never existed. It means it no longer controls you. There are scars you carry, invisible to everyone else, but etched into the fabric of your thoughts. The way you flinch at certain words, the way silence sometimes feels too loud, the way you brace yourself even when there's no danger around. Healing isn't pretending it didn't happen. It's not wiping the slate clean as if the pain was never real. Healing is remembering, without reliving. It's learning how to breathe through the ache, without letting it choke you. It's looking back and not getting pulled under. It's no longer letting what broke you steer your direction. Some days healing feels like progress. Other days it feels like survival. But every breath you've taken, every tear you've released, every morning you got up, when everything in you wanted to stay in bed, that is healing. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to be yours. So tonight, honor the path you've walked, the cracks you've carried, the light you've let in anyway. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means forgiving yourself for holding on so long, and finally giving yourself permission to let go. Not every storm is meant to be avoided. Some are meant to be walked through. You've spent so much time trying to protect yourself from pain, from loss, from the chaos that life throws at you uninvited. But some things can't be outrun. Some lessons can't be skipped. Some healing only happens when you go through the fire, not around it. You were never meant to avoid all storms. You were meant to survive them, to learn what you're made of in the middle of them, to rise, not because the sky's cleared, but because you found your anchor inside the waves. So tonight, if you feel like you're standing in the wind, trying to hold everything together, let go of the fight. Let yourself feel what's true. You are strong enough, not to dodge every storm, but to stand inside it and still breathe. You are not failing because it's hard. You're not broken because it hurts. You are just becoming wiser, deeper, truer. And when the storm passes, because it will, you'll look back and realize it didn't destroy you. It revealed you. The way you speak to yourself matters more than you think. You've mastered being kind to others, lifting them up, soothing their fears, holding their heaviness with both hands. But how do you speak to yourself when no one's listening, when the lights are off, and the only voice left in the room is yours? Do you talk to yourself like someone worth loving, or like someone constantly falling short? You deserve to be met with gentleness, even in your inner world. You deserve a voice that doesn't just remind you of your flaws, but one that celebrates how far you've come, how much you've survived, how deeply you care. You deserve a voice that knows you are a work in progress, and that is beautiful. So tonight, speak softly to yourself, not just because you're tired, but because you've tried, because you've held so much and kept going anyway. Let your self-talk be a shelter, not a storm. You've always deserved that kind of kindness, even from you. Your worth isn't found in someone else's ability to see it. There are moments when you give your heart, and it's not seen, moments when your efforts are dismissed, when your kindness is taken for granted, when you pour and pour, and no one seems to notice you're running empty. And in those moments, it's easy to wonder, am I not enough? Is something wrong with me? But someone's inability to love you doesn't make you less lovable. Their silence doesn't mean your voice has no value. Sometimes people can't see you clearly because they're too focused on their own pain, or because they've never learned how to receive love without trying to fix or control it. You are still worthy, even if they missed it. You are still enough, even if they walked away. So tonight, let go of the need to be validated by the wrong mirrors. Let go of the craving for approval. That cost your peace. Look inward, where the quiet truth always lives. You've always been more than enough. Long before anyone tried to measure you, you are not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. Comparison is a thief with quiet footsteps. It slips into your mind when you're tired, scrolling, watching, measuring your timeline against someone else's highlights, and suddenly it feels like you're late, like you've missed something, like your story is too slow, too small, too uncertain. But life isn't a race. There is no universal clock that says where you should be, by what age, with what status, and how polished. You are allowed to move at your own pace, allowed to pause, to detour, to start again. Some flowers bloom in spring, others wait for the stillness of autumn, and neither is wrong. So tonight, stop counting how far you still have to go. Start honoring how far you've already come. You are not behind. You are becoming, and becoming takes time. There's nothing wrong with your timing, nothing wrong with your path. You are exactly where you need to be. Even if it doesn't look like anyone else's map, you can forgive yourself and still hold yourself accountable. We often believe that forgiveness means forgetting, that to forgive ourselves, we must excuse everything, erase the pain we've caused, pretend we were never wrong. But that's not how healing works. You can look your past in the eye and still choose to grow. You can admit your mistakes and still be kind to yourself. You can carry the weight of your actions without letting them define your future. Accountability doesn't mean self-punishment, and forgiveness doesn't mean pretending it never happened. It means choosing not to be cruel to the version of you who didn't know better. It means saying, I see what I did and I'll do better now. It means letting your growth speak louder than your shame ever did. So tonight, let go of the story that says you're a bad person because you made a bad decision. You are still allowed to heal, still allowed to love yourself, still allowed to rewrite the narrative. Without erasing what made you rewrite it in the first place, healing doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like surviving the same day over and over. There are days when healing feels like a sunrise. Everything is glowing. Hope is soft and close, and it feels like you've finally turned a corner. But then there are the other days, the ones that feel like repetition, like you're stuck, like nothing has changed, like you're right back where you started. But you're not, because every time you choose not to give up, every time you get out of bed, or even just breathe a little deeper, or cry when you need to, or feel without running, you are healing. Not every part of healing is visible. Sometimes it's slow, quiet, invisible even to you. But surviving, again and again, is not a failure. It's proof you're still here, still choosing yourself, even in the dark. So tonight, let this be enough. Let breathing be enough. Let showing up be enough. Healing isn't always forward, but it's always real, even when it doesn't look like much. And now, as the night settles deeper and your breath begins to slow, let this be your final thought. Before you drift away, you did not have to be perfect today. You didn't need to fix everything, or be everything, or have all the answers. You only had to show up in whatever way you could, and you did. So tonight, let the weight slip from your shoulders. Let the noise in your mind fade into quiet. Let every version of you, the tired one, the unsure one, the brave one, lay down together without judgment. You don't need to solve your life before you sleep. You only need to rest and trust that everything inside you already knows how to begin again tomorrow. You are safe now. You are held now. You are allowed to rest now. Good night. Beautiful soul, you are enough, even in silence, even in sleep, even in dreams.